Chapter 26. Fair Play. Early the next morning, Lin Nuannuan was awakened by the sound of a wall being smashed. She thought that someone had come looking for trouble again, so she immediately got out of bed and rushed out with the bone knife. However, she saw that a huge hole had been smashed into her rock wall. As for the person who smashed the wall, it was actually Xuangyun. When Lin Nuannuan saw that he was the one who smashed the wall, she instantly became furious. "Are you crazy? Why did you smash my wall for no reason?" When he saw her coming, the tips of his ears involuntarily turned red, but the expression on his face was still arrogant. "This is not only your wall but also my wall. I can smash it however I want. It's none of your business. This is my home." "When did it become your home? You're already my mate. Your home is my home." Xuangyun was very arrogant when he said this, but his eyes subconsciously glanced at Lin Nuannuan's face. His sharp wolf claws slowed down their digging. He was worried. What if she refused to acknowledge the mate bond between them? After all, he wasn't like Baidi. He could not please her, nor did he have the strength of a 3-star soul beast. When Lin Nuannuan heard his words, she was first stunned, then she couldn't help but blush. She glared at him angrily. "Even so, you can't just smash walls." When he saw that she didn't deny what he said, he knew that she had acknowledged their mate bond. Delighted, he immediately resumed his digging. "I need to merge the two caves. It'll be more convenient this way." Convenient? Of course, it would be convenient for him to kidnap the little female into his bed. It made no sense that the big tiger could hug the little female to sleep, while he could only sleep alone in the next room. He had to fight for his own benefits. At this moment, Baidi stepped out. He had already heard the conversation between Xuangyun and Lin Nuannuan just now. He knew Xuangyun's thoughts like the back of his hand, but he had no intention of exposing Xuangyun. He said to Lin Nuannuan, "You just woke up, right? I made some vegetable soup and left it on the fire to heat it up. Hurry up and have some." "Okay." After Lin Nuannuan left, Baidi looked at Xuangyun, who was busy digging a hole. He said slowly, "You saved my life, and I also helped you once. We're even. In the future, we'll compete fairly." Xuangyun naturally knew what Baidi meant by fair competition. He immediately retorted without showing any weakness, "I've been waiting for you to say that. We'll play fair. I'll never let you win." Baidi smiled. "We'll see." He was about to turn away when he heard Xuangyun speak again. "Although I don't know why you're here despite being a 3-star soul beast, I have to warn you. No matter what your purpose is, I won't let you off if you have any intention of harming the Rock Wolf tribe." Baidi paused and gave him a casual look. "I just want to spend my life with Nuannuan. I don't care about anything else." "Hey, Emph!" Lin Nuannuan walked into the kitchen and found that in addition to the vegetable soup, there was a sourcing leaf fruit that had been washed. She could smell the sweet aroma from the palm-sized green fruit as soon as she approached it. Lin Nuannuan took a sip of the vegetable soup. It tasted very good. It was so much better than the vegetable soup she made. It seemed that Baidi was very talented in cooking. He had only cooked a few times, but his culinary skills were already so good. She had to train his cooking skills. She wanted him to become the #1 chef in this era. When she thought about being able to eat a full-scale banquet feast like those in ancient times, Lin Nuannuan felt that her future would be filled with happiness. Lin Nuannuan finished the vegetable soup in one gulp before taking the sourcing leaf fruit and slowly chewing on it. She was thinking about what had just happened. Xuangyun's words reminded her that she was already bonded to 2 male beasts. The 3 of them would have to live together for the next 3 months. Hopefully, the 2 males would get through this period in peace. Baidi and Xuangyun had returned from outside. They not only brought back sourcing leaf fruits but also a large bag of another sweet fruit. This particular fruit grew all year round, but the fruit did not taste as sweet in winter compared to other seasons. The fruit in winter tasted both sweet and sour. Many females did not like it, but Lin Nuannuan thought it was very good. There were a lot of fruits. Baidi and Xuangyun did not like them, but Lin Nuannuan could not finish them alone. Hence, she divided the seemingly endless supply of fruits into 2. One portion was crushed to make jam, while the other was stored in a stone jar in the cellar. She intended to make fruit wine. Bai Di and Shuang Yun had brought back some herbs as well. Lin Nuannuan prepared some of the more precious and rare medicinal herbs. She called Shuang Yun over and handed him the herbs wrapped in animal hide. Take these to the old witch doctor. He put in a lot of effort to save you and Bai Di. These herbs are a thank you gift for him. Shuang Yun snorted. You have to pay me to have me run errands for you. What do you want? I want you to sleep with me tonight. Lin Nuannuan's face instantly turned red. Why are you spouting nonsense in broad daylight? We're mates. It's only right and proper for us to sleep together. Shuang Yun raised his chin in a matter-of-fact manner. But I'm used to sleeping alone. I don't want to sleep with anyone else for a while. You're lying. Shuang Yun was indignant. You used to sleep with that tiger every night. Sometimes he would touch you and you'd make very sweet, seductive sounds. I heard them all. Lin Nuannuan. Why was the soundproofing of the rock walls so bad? She wanted to lodge a complaint. Lin Nuannuan, who had been exposed on the spot, became even more embarrassed now. She avoided Shuang Yun's gaze and said, "That's different." What's different about it? Lin Nuannuan thought about it and decided to lay it all out. Bai Di and I are in love, but you don't like me. I only treat you as a friend. I think it would be better if the two of us don't sleep together. Shuang Yun froze. A look of hurt flashed across his dark green eyes. He clenched his fists and glared at Lin Nuannuan indignantly. He gritted his teeth and said, "What do you mean by that? Are you trying to say that you don't like me at all? Then why did you make me your mate? It was an emergency back then. If I hadn't made you my mate, you wouldn't have had an easy time evolving. You'd probably lose your life because of it. I couldn't leave you in the lurch. Now that I've completed my evolution, what are you going to do? Abandon me?" Shuang Yun tried to raise his chin high so that he looked domineering and not at all terrified by the other party's words. "We didn't bond by mating, so we're not really mates. In 3 months, our bond will automatically dissolve and you'll be free again." Lin Nuannuan spoke very sincerely. She said all this after much deliberation. Shuang Yun didn't like females. Forcing him to mate with one would certainly upset him. She didn't want to see him upset. Chapter 27. I'm only interested in you. Not really mates. He was her mate now, and no one could deny that relationship. Shuang Yun was furious. He wished he could throw the little female in front of him to the ground right now, mate with her successfully, and make his title as her mate official. But reason told him not to. The last time Bai Di had used force on Lin Nuannuan, not only did she get injured, but she was also traumatized. The memory of her trembling in fear was still fresh in Shuang Yun's mind. He couldn't bear to do that to her. It took some effort for him to suppress his anger. He snatched the herbs from Lin Nuannuan's hand and said angrily, "It's just an errand. I'll do it." He just wanted to take the opportunity to get some benefits. Did she have to ask to terminate the mate bond between them? He would just give up on the benefits then. Shuang Yun felt especially wronged. He glared fiercely at Lin Nuannuan, then quickly ran away with the herbs. Lin Nuannuan shouted at his back, "Hurry up and come back. We'll wait for you for dinner tonight." Shuang Yun ran into the old witch doctor's hut and tossed the herbs in front of Lang Ju. "This is a thank you gift that Nuannuan wants to give you. She wishes to thank you for your help this time." Lang Ju still had a lot of medicinal herbs in the house. These medicinal herbs were dispensable to him, but he still accepted the medicinal herbs with a smile. Not bad, as expected of a beast with a mate. You finally know how to reciprocate kindness. Shuang Yun sat down on the ground and remained silent. Noticing his low spirits, Lang Ju pushed aside the herbs in front of him and sat in front of him. "What's wrong with you now? Did you have a conflict with the little female at home?" Shuang Yun was silent for a moment before he said stiffly, "She doesn't like me." "Is that so?" "I think she likes you." "You're lying. She doesn't like me. She told me that herself." At this point, Shuang Yun's eyes had turned red. This male beast who would not even show a reaction in the face of death was now red-eyed. Lang Ju was obviously shocked by the change in his expression and quickly asked, "What happened? Tell me what happened from beginning to end." I'll analyze it for you. Lin Nuannuan filled the prepared jam into a wooden jar and then took out 2 large pieces of dried meat from the cellar. She called Baidi over. Are you busy now? Can you go out with me? Where are you going? He asked. I want to go to Muzhang's house. She helped us yesterday, so I want to give her something as a thank you gift. Sure, I'll go with you. Baidi carried the meat and jam in one hand, then used the other to pick up Lin Nuannuan before sitting her on his shoulder. Along the way, many male beasts looked at Baidi with envy and jealousy. They were still single, but this white tiger had already gotten this cute female. It was too hateful. Lin Nuannuan was embarrassed by the fiery gazes of the male beasts. She subconsciously hugged Baidi's neck tightly. Baidi glared at the male beasts. The powerful might of a 3-starred soul beast scared those beasts until their expressions changed. They retracted their gazes and did not dare to look at Lin Nuannuan again. When they reached Muzhang's house, Lin Nuannuan had Baidi put her down. She tried to call out twice. Mushang, are you home? No one responded. Lin Nuannuan was very puzzled. Was Mushang not at home? Just as she was about to leave to come back another day, Muzhang's voice suddenly came from inside the house. Huan, come in quickly. After obtaining permission, Lin Nuannuan immediately took Baidai's hand and ran happily into the house. As a result, as soon as she entered, she saw that Mushang was mating with her mates. The movements were rather intense, and everything was rather wild. The slapping sounds were endless. Lin Nuannuan, damn, this image was really blinding. She quickly turned around. Why are you doing this in the middle of the day? Mushang groaned as she replied, I have nothing to do anyway. Why don't I do something meaningful? Lin Nuannuan wished she could stuff her ears too. Muzhang's moans were so intense that they gave her goosebumps. Lin Nuannuan couldn't stand it anymore and pulled Baidi outside. We're going outside. Give us a shout when you're done. Lin Nuannuan quickly ran out of the house and rubbed her ears hard, trying to forget about the noises she had just heard. Baidi looked at her with amusement. You don't need to take it personally. Such things happen. What? Are you saying it's normal for them to mate in broad daylight and invite friends into their house to watch? Weren't they too unrestrained? It's winter, Baidi explained. It's a good time to mate. The males don't have to go out hunting, so they spend a lot of time at home mating with their mates and trying to get the females pregnant. When the snow melts and it's spring, there'll be plenty of prey and fruit. When the land is warm and the flowers bloom, the females will birth their cubs and do their best to ensure that the cubs survive. That was why Mushang said they were doing something meaningful. To the beasts, reproduction was indeed the most meaningful activity for them. Lin Nuannuan was very embarrassed. Even so, there's no need to be in a threesome, right? It's too hardcore. Perhaps it's Muzhang's personal preference. Baidi glanced at her. It seems you don't like this play all that much. Don't worry. I don't want to have you with other males at the same time either. Lin Nuannuan blushed. She buried her face in her hands, mortified. Why do you have to drag me into this? Because I'm not interested in other people's affairs. I'm only interested in you. The words were both blunt and explicit. Lin Nuannuan's face turned even redder. It took a long time for Mushang and her mates to finish. Lin Nuannuan walked into the house while holding Baidai's hand. She could still smell the subtle musky scent in the air. She cleared her throat and asked Baidi to place the gift down. I made some jam and thought you might like it, so I brought some over for you. I want to thank you and your mates for your help yesterday. Beast didn't know how to be polite. When Mushang heard her, she immediately smiled and said, We're friends. It's only right that we help each other. She opened the wooden jar and smelled the sweet fruit. She liked it and quickly dipped her finger into the jam before putting it in her mouth. It was a little sour. She didn't really like sour foods, but for some reason, she found this jam surprisingly delicious. Muzhang's eyes glowed. How did you do this? Teach me. Lin Nuannuan smiled and said, Sure. Come look for me when you're free. I'll teach you how to make jam. Chapter 28. Could not forgive. Lang Ju glared at him after hearing what Shuang Yun had to say. You just don't know the right words to say. Do you know what females like best? Sweet nothings. Shuang Yun was very disdainful. I'm the most powerful alpha wolf in the rock wolf tribe. Every time I hunt, I always hunt the largest prey. I don't need to say sweet words. I can crush those male beasts with my strength. Lang Zhu rolled his eyes rudely. If you're so good, why aren't you as important to the little female as Baidi? Shuang Yun's expression immediately turned ugly after being ruthlessly rebuked. My next words will be unpleasant to hear. Not only is Baidi a 3-star soul beast, but he's also very capable. Moreover, he's especially gentle and considerate. He takes care of the little female meticulously. It's not unusual for her to like him. Shuang Yun wasn't happy to hear that, but he couldn't argue. Lang Zhu advised him earnestly. Other things aside, you really have to learn from Baidi about taking care of females. Shuang Yun was very reluctant. I'm not going to learn from that tiger. If you don't learn, you're likely to lose a little female. Shuang Yun's eyes turned red again. He could tolerate anything except losing Huan. He definitely couldn't. Lang Zhu clapped him on the shoulder. A little impatience can spoil a great plan. You need to be as calm as you usually are when leading a pack to hunt. Shuang Yun recalled his usual mood when he hunted. His irritable and uneasy heart gradually calmed down. Lang Zhu said, just treat Huan as your prey. Getting your prey in one move is what you do best. You should know what to do now. Shuang Yun looked thoughtful. Seeing that he already had an idea, Lang Zhu changed the subject. Why don't you stay for dinner with me tonight? No, Huan is still at home waiting for me to have dinner with her. With that, he stood up and walked away without looking back. Lang Zhu shook his head and scolded jokingly. This brat has forgotten all about his elders after getting a mate. Shuang Yun walked over and sat down. Lin Nuannuan cut off a large piece of roasted meat with the bone knife and handed it to him. Try it and see how it tastes. Since they were a family, food naturally had to be placed together. Lin Nuannuan said, it's all right. We have enough food stored anyway. However, Shuang Yun pulled a long face and said with a very serious expression, it's only right for male beasts to feed their partners. Are you complaining that I didn't hunt enough prey? Lin Nuannuan quickly waved her hands. No. You've already hunted a lot of prey. I'm definitely not looking down on you. She paused and then added, if you don't mind the trouble, you can bring the food over. Baidi cut the cooked meat into thin slices and placed them in a bowl in front of Huan. There might not be enough space in the cellar. He said, I'll dig out some more space later. Lin Nuannuan nodded. All right. The meat was roasted until it was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. It was juicy and tasted amazing. She stuffed her mouth with roasted meat and gave Baidi a thumbs up as she ate, praising his cooking. Baidi smiled. Eat slowly, or you'll burn yourself again. Recalling her previous experience of being scalded, Lin Nuannuan chuckled in embarrassment. Shuang Yun watched the warm interactions between the two of them and felt bitter. He looked down at the roasted meat in his hand, realizing that he was not only inferior to Baidi in terms of strength and character but also in cooking. In comparison, he really didn't seem to have anything that Lin Nuannuan would like. After eating and drinking his fill, Baidi went to the cellar to dig out more space. Shuang Yun carried his own stored food into the cellar, while Lin Nuannuan helped to arrange the food neatly. The three of them worked together and quickly finished their tasks. Lin Nuannuan was sweating. She boiled some hot water and gave her body a quick wipe. Baidi helped her make the bed and light the fire beside it. He looked at Nuannuan with a gentle gaze. Go to sleep. Call me if you need me. Lin Nuannuan sat down on the stone bed and reached out to touch the soft yet thick tiger fur. She couldn't help but ask, aren't you going to sleep here? I'll sleep next door. Baidi remembered how he had hurt Nuannuan. Even though Nuannuan didn't blame him, he could not forgive himself. Hence, he offered to sleep in a different room. He was afraid that if he got any closer to Nuannuan, he would do that beastly thing to her again. Lin Nuannuan understood his feelings. She had tried comforting him, but unfortunately, it was useless. Baidi was the gentle, caring type. However, he was stubborn to the core. No matter how much anyone said, it would be useless unless he could move on from the incident himself. Lin Nuannuan could only watch him leave. His back looked very forlorn. When Lin Nuannuan was slowly falling asleep, she started to feel a little thirsty. She opened her eyes, casually pulled a piece of firewood from the fire, and headed to the kitchen with the firewood to light up the way. Unexpectedly, the aroma of food came from the kitchen. Who would be cooking in the middle of the night? Lin Nuannuan's heart tightened. She carefully sneaked into the kitchen and found a beast squatting by the fire while roasting meat. She saw his face clearly in the firelight. It was Xuangyun. Xuangyun's senses were very sharp. Almost as soon as Lin Nuannuan entered the kitchen, he realized that someone had entered. He immediately looked up, his gaze slowly meeting Lin Nuannuan's. Both of them were shocked. Xuangyun quickly hid the thing in his hand behind his back. He was even more frantic because of his panic. "What are you doing here?" Lin Nuannuan walked over. First, she looked at the charcoal on his face, then at the few pieces of roasted meat beside him that had yet to be put away. Without exception, all of them were charred black and looked very unappetizing. She blinked. "You came here in the middle of the night to roast meat instead of sleeping. Did you not eat enough at night?" He turned away. "It's none of your business." Earlier in the night, when he saw how Nuannuan praised Bai Di for his cooking, he was envious and jealous. He remembered the old witch doctor's advice, so he decided to learn how to cook as well. Of course, with his pride, there was no way he'd ask Bai Di for advice on cooking. Hence, he crept into the kitchen in the middle of the night. He tried to recall the process of Bai Di roasting the meat and tried to practice the method. Unfortunately, he failed even after roasting several pieces of meat. Chapter 29. Is gratitude all you feel for me? Those chunks of meat were black and hard. They tasted like stones and were extremely unpleasant. He had originally planned to destroy these failures and not let anyone know about this matter, but he did not expect Lin Nuannuan to suddenly appear. All the stupid things he'd done had been discovered. Nuannuan would definitely despise him more and more. Xuangyun felt both annoyed and frustrated. Lin Nuannuan walked over to his side and sat down. She took the piece of meat that he was hiding behind his back and explained patiently. "The meat has to be cut before it's roasted. If you put a large piece of it over the fire like this, it'll easily cause the outside to burn, but the meat inside will still be raw." He pulled a face and asked stiffly, "Then, how should I do it? Do you have a knife?" Xuangyun didn't have a knife. He directly revealed his wolf claws. "Will these do?" His wolf claws were extremely sharp, far sharper than bone knives. Lin Nuannuan immediately said, "Of course." Under her direction, Xuangyun used his claws to cut the meat into small pieces. He then skewered them on sticks, coated them with seasoning, and set them on the fire to cook slowly. The barbecue was more successful this time. It still didn't taste as good as the meat Bai Di had prepared, but it was better than Xuangyun's failures from earlier. He stared at the roasted meat in his hand, feeling frustrated. No matter how hard he tried to learn, the meat he cooked was no match for Bai Di's. He was inferior to Bai Di in everything. How could he compete with Bai Di then? Lin Nuannuan had originally planned to go back to sleep, but she acutely sensed that Xuangyun's mood was a little off. She asked carefully, "Are you unhappy?" Xuangyun pursed his lips and asked, "Do you care whether I'm happy or not?" Lin Nuannuan did not know how to answer. Xuangyun lowered his dark green eyes. "You only ever pay attention to that tiger. It doesn't matter to you what happens to me." "Of course it matters," Lin Nuannuan retorted without hesitation. "You're important to me too." "Really?" He scoffed, clearly not believing her. Lin Nuannuan was already used to his arrogance. Seeing his self-deprecating sneer, she felt especially uncomfortable, as though something was stuck in her heart. She couldn't resist taking his hand. "I mean it. You mean a lot to me." Xuangyun looked down at her hands that were holding his. Such tiny, fair hands. It made him want to clench them in his palms and never let go. Seeing that he was still silent, Lin Nuannuan thought that he was still unhappy, so she continued to speak. "Even though you usually say nasty things, you're actually quite nice. You've helped me a lot. I'm very grateful to you. He glanced at her. Is gratitude all you feel for me? Lin Nuannuan thought for a moment. Of course, there's more than just gratitude. He loomed over her. What else? The distance between the two of them had decreased greatly. The firelight shone on his handsome face, and his originally sharp eyebrows had softened a lot. There was actually some affection and anticipation in his dark green eyes. Perhaps the atmosphere was too ambiguous, or his gaze was too gentle, or perhaps she was still half asleep. Lin Nuannuan's heart beat faster in spite of herself, and her face grew hot. This girlish reaction made her understand something. She was being swayed by Xuangyun. This rebellious wolf had unknowingly made her like him. This made Lin Nuannuan feel guilty. After all, she had already decided to grow old with Baidi, but she suddenly had a crush on another male beast now. If Baidi found out, he'd be devastated. Xuangyun stared at her face, taking in the changes in her expression. A thought struck him, and he asked a sudden question. Do you like me? Lin Nuannuan was stunned. Her mind went blank. Her face was impossibly red. Oh my gosh! He could tell. What should she do? Deny it? But she did not want to lie to Xuangyun. Admit it. What about Baidi then? I don't want to be a philandering woman. Xuangyun saw that she was staring at him in a daze without speaking. Her big watery eyes were filled with helplessness and panic at having her secret discovered. The little female was really innocent. The thoughts in her heart were all displayed on her face, and it was obvious at a glance. She did like him. All the bitterness in Xuangyun's heart dissipated. A feeling of surprise enveloped him. He wished he could run out and call out all the beasts to tell them that his feelings for Huan weren't one-sided. Huan liked him back. They were in love. He tried to suppress the urge and forced himself to look calm. Why won't you answer me? Lin Nuannuan avoided his gaze and lowered her eyes guiltily. She stammered. I don't know. Xuangyun lifted her chin, refusing to let her back away. What do you mean you don't know? It's either you like me or you don't. This was the first time Lin Nuannuan had encountered such a situation. She was extremely nervous. Looking at the handsome face right in front of her, she felt her heart beat faster. She couldn't help but let her imagination run wild. If this continued, would she have a heart attack? Seeing that she was silent, Xuangyun's lips curved up into a teasing smile. Look at you. You like me but don't dare to say it. Are you afraid that I'll reject you? Lin Nuannuan, as much as I hate females, I'll give you a chance considering how much you like me. Lin Nuannuan, why aren't you saying anything? Are you so happy that you've gone stupid? Lin Nuannuan was speechless. She didn't know that not only did this guy have a vicious tongue, but he was also an imaginative and domineering person. She couldn't help herself and said, Can you stop being so narcissistic? Xuangyun was in a good mood now. Even though he was being mocked, he wasn't angry. I know you're shy. It's okay. I won't hold it against you. How am I shy? If you're not shy, why are you blushing? Lin Nuannuan was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She immediately exploded. This guy was really too annoying. What was even more annoying was that she actually had a good impression of this guy. She must be blind. Lin Nuannuan couldn't stay any longer. She suddenly stood up. I won't talk nonsense with you anymore. I'm going back to sleep. Wait. Lin Nuannuan glared at him. What else do you want to say? Do you remember what you promised me before I went to save Baidi? After his reminder, Lin Nuannuan remembered that she had indeed promised Xuangyun that as long as he returned alive, she would agree to a request he made. She snapped at him. What do you want me to do? I want you to mate with me. Lin Nuannuan thought that she had misheard and couldn't help but rub her ears. What? Xuangyun raised his chin slightly, and every word was said extremely clearly. I want to mate with you. That's all I ask. Chapter 30. Sourcing leaf fruit. Lin Nuannuan fled in fear. When she got up the next morning, she was still in shock. Yesterday, Xuangyun actually said that he wanted to mate with her. Lin Nuannuan covered her face. She must have been dreaming last night. Xuangyun hated females very much. How could he want to mate with her? After Lin Nuannuan had mentally prepared herself, she slowly walked out of the bedroom. Bai Di had finished preparing breakfast. He smiled gently at Lin Nuannuan. Come and eat. Lin Nuannuan looked around and heaved a sigh of relief when she didn't see Xuangyun. After last night's conversation, she didn't even know how to face him now. It would be better to avoid him for the time being. Lin Nuannuan finished a broth Bai Di had made. It was as delicious as ever, and she couldn't stop praising it. She just finished breakfast when Mu Shang came to the door with her male mate. Lin Nuannuan took out some fruits from the cellar and began to teach Mu Shang how to make jam. Mu Shang started learning with a serious attitude. Her male mate was called Jiu Yuan. He was tall, burly, and steady in his work. He was very protective of Mu Shang, and he was a reliable beast. In the entire Rock Wolf tribe, he was the most powerful male beast, only second to Xuangyun. Not wanting to disturb his female learning to make jam, Jiu Yuan sat in the outer room with Bai Di and chatted with him. Mu Shang finally made a jar of jam and stretched her limbs. Finally, Lin Nuannuan said, "Do you want to rest?" Mu Shang might be a female, but she wasn't weak. She'd only made a jar of jam. She didn't feel tired. She just felt bored. She rolled her eyes and suddenly approached Lin Nuannuan. She asked in a gossipy manner, "I heard that you took in Patriarch Xuangyun." The words "took in" made Lin Nuannuan feel embarrassed, but she still answered truthfully, "We did become mates." Mu Shang was pleasantly surprised. "You're incredible. You could even take down a male who has always hated females. You've really made us females proud." Lin Nuannuan was even more embarrassed by the praise. It just happened somehow. Don't be so modest. Previously, a few females in our tribe were making bets to see who could take down the leader of the Rock Wolf tribe. In the end, we all lost, and you're the only winner. You're now the most powerful female in our Rock Wolf tribe. Lin Nuannuan couldn't help but blush again. "I'm really not that powerful." Mu Zhang's smile widened at her shy appearance. "Tell me, is Patriarch Xuangyun's penis thick? Is it long? Are his techniques good?" These questions were too provocative. Lin Nuannuan was so embarrassed that her face was red. "Why you're talking nonsense? I didn't do that with Xuangyun." "Huh?" It was Mu Zhang's turn to be surprised. "You didn't mate? Then how did you become mates?" Lin Nuannuan calmed down and told her about Xuangyun's evolution. "I see." Mu Shang looked enlightened. "I was wondering how you managed to take down Patriarch Xuangyun, so he was forced to become your mate." Lin Nuannuan lowered her eyes. "Yes." Mu Shang put her arm around her shoulders and said with a tone of authority, "Even though he was forced, you don't have to be afraid. Anyway, he's your mate now. Just sleep with him and he'll never escape you." Lin Nuannuan broke out in a cold sweat. "I wouldn't dare sleep with him." "Why wouldn't you? Is he unwilling?" Lin Nuannuan recalled what Xuangyun had said last night and couldn't help but blush again. "It's not that he's unwilling. Since he's not unwilling, that means he's willing," Mu Shang said quickly. "I knew it. How could any male refuse to mate with a female? Besides, Patriarch Xuangyun seems to like you very much." Lin Nuannuan was very surprised. "Does Xuangyun like me? Why would he mate with you if he doesn't like you? Have you forgotten how Xuangyun treated Li Wei the last time she came looking for trouble? That's how he treats females he doesn't like. Think about it." Lin Nuannuan silently compared Xuangyun's attitude toward Li Wei and her. She found that they were indeed different. Though he always made snide remarks at her, he was always on her side when it mattered. He had even ventured out into the snow-covered forest to find Bai Di for her. Thinking of this, Lin Nuannuan's mood couldn't help but become ambiguous. Mu Shang said to her, "You're just too timid. Any other female would have pounced on Patriarch Xuangyun by now." Lin Nuannuan looked down at her small physique. "My size doesn't allow it." "Then lure him in and let him overwhelm you." Lin Nuannuan thought about mating, and the first image that came to mind was of the night when the drunk Bai Di had been on top of her, trying to force his way into her body. His penis was too thick and long for her to handle. If Bai Dai's size was considered average among male beasts, she would never be able to mate with a male beast. Thinking of this, Lin Nuannuan was a little depressed. Was she too useless? Mu Sheng asked. What's going on? You look sulky. Lin Nuannuan recalled Mu Sheng mating with 2 male beasts at the same time. She couldn't help but blurt out, "Don't you feel pain when you mate?" As soon as she asked this, Lin Nuannuan's face turned red. Gosh, what had she just asked? How embarrassing. Before Lin Nuannuan could change the topic, Mu Sheng said, "No, I feel very comfortable and refreshed." She observed Lin Nuannuan's expression and asked tentatively, "Do you find it very painful and uncomfortable?" Although she was ashamed, Lin Nuannuan still nodded slowly. "Yes." "Why? Is it because your mate isn't very skilled?" Lin Nuannuan lowered her head and said in a very soft voice, "I don't know either. Regardless, it just hurts a lot. It feels as though I'm being torn apart." Mu Sheng looked as if she understood. "I suppose it's because that spot of yours is too small for a male's penis. That's why it's making you feel so miserable. This has actually happened to a female before." Lin Nuannuan immediately asked, "Then how did she resolve the problem?" "There's a fruit that stimulates the female's body, making that part of her more flexible and elastic. You can use it to minimize the pain of mating." Lin Nuannuan was very curious. "What fruit is that?" "It's called sourcing leaf fruit. It grows deep in the jungle and is very difficult to find. The tree only bears fruit in winter. It's rather troublesome. You can ask the old witch doctor, perhaps he would have some." Lin Nuannuan moved her gaze to the entrance to the cellar. A jar full of sourcing leaf fruit was stored there.